There was this kid on Instagram that texted me and he asked me what he wanted to do. He told me what he wanted to do with his life and everything. And I asked him, dude, what's holding you back? And he said, to be completely honest with you, it's laziness, it's lust. I have a problem with porn and staying up late. My sleep schedule is terrible. And I just put in the minimal amount of effort. So today, I wanted to make a video about these different topics. If this is something you guys are struggling with. And I want to break it down with you guys. Now, we mentioned the laziness, the lust, problem with porn, staying up late, sleep schedule's terrible, and he just puts a lot of minimal effort. Maybe you guys can relate. I know I can. If you watch my content, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, dude, I'm a lazy guy by nature. A lot of people are like, dude, you work so hard, you're so disciplined, you're so this. And I'm like, I wish, the battles I go through every single day. Like, just waking. There's days I don't want to do anything. There's days that it's just so hard just getting out of bed, and I just have to make a conscious decision every single day to get stuff done and to force myself to do it. It's not something that you're born with. And when it comes to discipline, guys, this is the thing, dude. It's not. I always thought that I would look at all these people that. Athletes or entrepreneurs, people that do big things and stuff. And I always thought, dude, they just have it. Like they're just so talented and gifted, and they're just born with this stuff, and they just have all these skills and gifts, and I don't know if I can ever have something like that. And then I realized that skills and attributes and certain gifts in life, they're developed. It's not something that you have one time and you have for the rest of your life. I realized that it's something that everyone can acquire if you put certain effort and you have certain structure and certain habits throughout your life and every single day. It's a conscious decision that you choose every single day. Discipline is a decision that you choose every single day. Faith, same thing, and all these different things. So first of all, when it comes to all these different addictions and vices of being lazy and lustful and porn and whatever, you got to understand that you don't have a lazy problem. You don't have a lust problem. You don't have a porn problem. You don't have a staying late problem. You have a mental problem. Your life is in direct correlation, and it's just a reflection and a result of what's inside here and here. So we're going to talk about how you can fix this and how you can overcome these things. First, let me start with this. There's two versions of you. There's the natural version of you, which is the lazy version of you, the lustful version of you that struggles with porn, sexual stuff, lust. It's very lazy, undisciplined, stays all day, doesn't wake up early or goes to bed pretty late, and you're on your phone on TikTok and scrolling and all these different things all the time and wasting a lot of time, and you don't put in a lot of effort. There's the natural carnal version of you. It's the human version of you. We all have it. But let me talk to you about another version of you. The spiritual, true version of you. I've said this multiple times. You were somebody before you came to this earth. You don't remember because you went through the veil. Because if you would remember, it would be so easy for you to just become that person and be that person and do everything you're supposed to do. That's why God made us forget, so we can have agency and choose who we want to be every single day. Now, because of the fall of Adam and Eve, sin was introduced to the world, death, and all these different things. And our bodies, our minds are very carnal and natural, like laziness and all these bad things, and lust and all these bad things and whatnot. So you fight with that natural man every single day. And maybe a lot of you guys, the only guy or girl that's has taken control of your life, it's been that person. Maybe you've been that person for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. But you can change that. Because you have your spirit inside of you, the true version of you. That the only thing that you got to do, first of all, is understand this person more. That's why getting closer to God is so important, so He can show you in a spiritual way, on a spiritual level, who this guy or girl is, so you can learn and remember about this person, remember who you were before. And second, start acting like it. Once you learn and remember facts about yourself, you just start acting like it. And that's the second part of change. And the natural version of you, the true spiritual version of you, you got to know who you got to understand who these two people are, and then act like the second one. This is the thing. You're like, Ben, I'm not disciplined. That's a belief I have. I'm lustful, like I'm lazy. And, right now that's a belief you have about yourself. And most of the time we act according to how we see ourselves. We act according to our belief system. If you believe you're ugly, you're going to act like you're ugly. If you believe you're fat, you're going to act like you're fat. If you believe you're lazy and you believe you're lustful, you're going to act like someone that's like that. So belief, and then comes the action. So in order to change your beliefs, in order to change how you see yourself, what I've done in my life, first of all, I understood my spiritual identity, who I truly am, as a son of God, as a son of a king, as a son of a creator. And once I understood this, and I learned and remembered facts about myself, I realized, okay, I don't believe those things. Like, for example, I'll give you one example. I don't believe I'm a leader, but I've come to understand that I'm a leader. I've come to understand that I have certain skills that God gave me. I don't believe that. So it's okay, but I do know because God showed me those things, and there's way to know and ways that I teach it. But with scripture and prayer and pondering, I understood these things about myself. I don't believe that yet, but I'm going to act like it. And this is how your brain works. Your brain has plasticity, meaning it can shrink or it can grow. You can change and rewire your brain. This is the coolest thing. If you're lazy, you can change it. If you don't have discipline, you can change that. Your brain is not just set and you just who you are. You can grow and change and modify and adapt as you go through life. So this is where you got to reverse psychology, this principle of you act according to what you believe, and then you act on it. So you got to reverse psychology it. What do I mean? Instead of believing and then acting, you got to act, and then as you act, you're going to create evidence, and then your brain is going to register that evidence, and then you're going to believe it. I'll give you an example. One of my really good friends, a very successful guy from LA, a couple of years ago, we're having, I can't say we're having dinner, because it's like 2:30 a.m. We're just talking in like downtown in Utah, and we're just talking about life. And he asked me, Ben, what comes first? What comes first, or what's more important, belief or behaving, acting? And I'm like, well, you gotta believe, and then you're gonna act. And he's like, well, you're wrong. He said, think about every amazing thing you've done in your life. You're an athlete, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm an athlete. And he's like, you've done ultramarathons, you've done all this stuff, you've done all these hard things and high achievements. Well, did you actually believe you can do it at the time? And I said, well, Mike, did I actually believe? To be honest with you, no. Was there a part of me that wanted to believe that? Yeah. But did I believe it? No. So what did I do? I just committed to a goal and I did it. And I had a zero options mentality, and I behaved like it, and I acted like it, and I gave my brain and my body no other option, and I just accomplished a very hard task. And I would cry and break down at the end of each race that I did by myself, because honestly, I cried for 15 hours. I was in so much pain, and I didn't believe I could finish. But once it finished, I realized that I could. And my belief about myself changed. Ben, can do hard things. I'm a very disciplined person. Ben, can overcome hard things. But it came through evidence. It came through proving to myself that I am that person. And then that belief was rewired. Then the belief of I'm not disciplined or I cannot do hard things was changed because I had evidence. I can see it. Now, same thing with leadership. When I started thinking and learning by the Spirit and with my relationship with God and through revelation that part of my identity, the real Ben, it was to become a leader. That dude was a leader. Was I a leader at the time? No. But I was like, okay, part of my true identity, my true self, my true spiritual self is that I am a leader. That's who I was before in the premortal life. I'm a leader. Perfect. Am I a leader now? No. What am I going to do then? I'm going to act like a leader, and I'm going to do things that require leadership. I'm going to do things that a leader would do. And what started to happen? A lot of evidence started to show up in my life and a lot of leadership opportunities. Therefore, I became and started developing as a leader. And my belief started changing because I'm like, hey, I have evidence that I'm actually a really good leader. And I'm becoming a leader. And then my belief flipped, which is Ben is a leader. I am a leader. And I know because I have a gazillion different experiences and things that I do that show me that I am a leader. So you got to understand that, as I said in the beginning, you got to get closer to God. You're not this natural version of you, the laziness, the lustful, that's not who you are. The real version of you is the spiritual one, the one that you were pre-mortal life, that God created first. And then you had your body, but you were spirit first. So first of all, you got to get closer to him through revelation, through specific things that you can do, and remember knowledge about yourself, about who you truly are. And once you learn these different things about who you truly are, then instead of believing and then acting, you just reverse psychology that, so you can rewire your brain and you start acting, and then the belief will come. And I promise you, I know it sounds simpler said than done, but easier said than done, but that's actually how it works. And once you do that, you got to understand, dude, that it's a spiritual battle. Most people that struggle with this thing is because you got to understand that we're not just here by ourselves. Like, I'm here, I'm by myself right now, but it's not like that. There's a spiritual world on another dimension. And the reality is that we are in a spiritual war between good and evil, between God and the devil. And all these bad things about laziness and lustful and porn and all wasting time is you have a lot of bad spirits trying to tempt you. You know why? Because you're here to do something great. And they're trying to trap you, but you're here to do something great. And they know that if you're lustful, as you watch porn and you have vices and all these different things, you're not going to become the person. They know who you were before. There's two people that know who you are, God and the devil. The devil knows who you are. He knows exactly who you are. He knows what you're great at, your strengths, and he knows your weaknesses. And he knows the ripple effect you can have on people's lives, especially in your purpose and your mission and your callings on earth, and the impact you're going to have in other people's lives. He knows that. So he knows that if he can take you out of the equation, you ain't helping no one. So that's why you struggle. Because you're here to do something great. If you didn't struggle, if you didn't have any opposition in life, remember that there must be an opposition, equal in opposite force, greatness, and the opposite would be pain, sorrow, and affliction. Joy, the other one would be all these different things that maybe you're experiencing. Wealthy, you have to be broke in the beginning. You have to experience both. So you gotta be aware and understand and acknowledge that you're struggling in life because there's another version of you on the other side that doesn't struggle with these things, the true version of you. You just gotta get to know that person a little bit more. There's like three systems in us. You have your body, your mind, and then your spirit. And I'll finish with this. You got to get good at listening to your gut. You got to get good at listening to your spirit. Not what your body wants, not what your mind wants, but what your spirit wants. You got to get good at connecting with heaven. You got to get good at connecting with that voice. And you got to get good at trusting yourself. That voice, if you can listen to that true voice and get rid of all the other noise and whatever, you're going to be able to change and get rid of all this stuff that you're struggling with. So if this is something that you guys can relate, drop down in the comments. If you guys have more questions that I can answer on this channel, drop down in the comments. And if this is something that you guys can relate and you need help and you're a man that struggle with this stuff, we just launched our 20U protocol and we're going in depth and all these different principles. And you guys can check the video down below. Just put the link and you guys can check it out and see if that's something that aligns with you. We only take very few people and men during the year. So it's by application only. So you guys can see if something that benefits you and you feel called to do, and we can work together. But yeah, hopefully this helped you guys. I love you guys. I'm praying for you and appreciate all the love for the channel, the content. And as we keep growing, hopefully I can answer more of your questions. But again, dude, I'm no different than you. I've struggled my whole life. One of the reasons why I can help people is because I can relate to them. I'm not this perfect, amazing guy, because I'm not. I'm very imperfect. I'm very flawed. I'm very human. And that's why I can understand. Because if I'm able to rebuild myself, somebody so average and normal and suicidal and broken family, broken friggin' whatever, and all these things that I've gone through my life can change and do what I'm doing, you can too. We're no different, brother. We're no different. Maybe I just know a few things and maybe you don't, and that's okay. And that's what I'm doing, is so you guys can learn this stuff. So anyway, love you guys. God bless you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.